Doit-on tendre l'autre joue si quelqu'un nous donne une gifle sur la joue droite?
Should we turn the other cheek if someone gives us a slap on the right cheek? I know this text by Jesus is particularly famous in Matthew chapter 5 verse 39, but I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. But if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. Is this the practical attitude one must have? When we turn to look at the attitude of Jesus himself when he is on trial facing the Sanhedrin, and at a certain moment he is asked a question and he answers. Then a servant of the high priest comes and gives him a big slap. Then Jesus gets up and says, if I have spoken wrongly, testify to the wrong, but if I have spoken rightly, why do you strike me? So he does not hold out the other cheek. It therefore means that this text, which uses simple language that is not to be taken literally in the material sense, but it signifies an inner intention of the heart. There is only one situation where a man can let himself be beaten and murdered without reacting. It is when he has given up everything in his life. Then he is consecrated, that there is nothing that belongs to him: poverty, chastity, obedience, and that he is not responsible for anyone's welfare. So I'm talking about monks, hermits. It happened that monks, hermits who were attacked let themselves be murdered. I will even say, if a religious is in charge of souls and someone hit him, but he has children to care for example, in his parish, he cannot let himself be abused and especially not let himself be murdered. An example, Saint Jean Bosco, he was in charge of children in Milan, orphan children from the streets. One day Freemasons decided to murder him in the streets, so he took his staff and hit him so hard that he brought him back to the police nearly in pieces. He did not let himself be killed. In the same way, a father cannot allow himself to be murdered like that. He has to save his life because he is in charge of his family. As for the monks who have consecrated everything to God, there is one thing for which, on the other hand, they must be violent if necessary. It is the assistance to a person in danger. Imagine a monk consecrated to God who is on the subway. There is a girl and a guy comes in and he starts to abuse her. If he does not assist this young girl first by his word, if he can, and then by his strength, if he has any, well, he will be guilty of failure to help a person in danger. Does this mean that this text is false? Not at all. It is true, but it indicates the inner attitude when defending oneself or defending others, sometimes by violence, because one can be forced to, one does so without hatred, and as soon as the other is incapacitated, then one must stop, and he is treated again like a brother. It is these laws that preside over situations of war. A prisoner of war cannot be murdered. He has become someone like us. Obviously, everything must be done to avoid violence. Violence must be only intervened as a last resort. And it is by following this commandment of Jesus that little by little the level of violence decreases in the world. And it works in the West where the death penalty has been abolished. I am talking about Western Europe. It is clear that the number of crimes has decreased. It's counterintuitive, but it's like that. In America, where there is the death penalty, very often the number of crimes are much higher. Granted, people are harmed in the street still.
En Amérique, où il y a la peine de mort très souvent, le nombre de crimes est beaucoup plus fort. Alors certes, les gens sont armés dans la rue, mais tout de même,